Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, June 9th. I'm Patricia Valun. Glad to have you with us tonight. Well, the man who pleaded guilty to a drunk driving crash that killed 5 people in Oxon Hill in 2014 was sentenced today. Byron Scott was in the courtroom in Upper Marlboro and joins us now by phone with details. Byron?
Well, Patty, that accident happening, as you said, October 2014. The car driven by Kenneth Kelly slamming into the car, another car with 4 people inside at a red light. Now, 50 years the judge ordered for Kenneth Kelly for that accident that took 5 lives. The courtroom today packed to capacity with both families and at least a dozen police and sheriff's deputies on hand just in case things got out of hand. Now, many in the courtroom began crying, very dramatic in the courtroom. Some even walked out as the prosecution read testimony of an eyewitness of that accident. She described seeing one of the victims on the ground dead. She said, a little boy, eyes open and broken arms. Of the 5 who were killed, 2 of them were sisters. Their father spoke in court today, describing what his life has been like since the accident. A survivor of the accident, whose 2 children also died in that accident, she spoke, saying that her life means nothing since her angels died. Now, Kenneth Kelly was the last person to take the stand, or to address the court, I should say. He apologized to the family, saying that he can't even imagine what they are going through. After the sentencing, once again, 50 years, Kelly's family, angered by the sentence, some of them stormed out of the courtroom. Many began crying, some cussing. Again, 50 years behind bars for Kenneth Kelly. The judge calling this one the worst case he's presided over since 1969. At the courthouse, Byron Scott, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Byron, for that report. Well, deaths from drug and alcohol in Maryland hit an all-time high last year. Health officials say that fatal overdoses rose 66% from 2015 to 2016. The nearly 2,100 deaths are 3 times the tally from 2010, according to newly released state data. The majority of overdoses are attributed to heroin and fentanyl, underscoring the magnitude of the growing opioid epidemic. Now, Governor Larry Hogan says the administration is laser focused on addressing the crisis. Still, he says the numbers are deeply troubling.
We've been focused on it like a laser beam since I came in. Started an emergency opioid and heroin task force. We implemented 31 different recommendations. We've been going after it from the standpoint of education, prevention, addiction treatment services, and crime prevention. I just declared a state of emergency earlier this year and put the whole resources of state government and all the local governments working together. We added $50 million to the problem, and in spite of all of those efforts, and all of the positive things that we've accomplished, we're just not even slowing it down. The rate of growth continues.
And according to the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, Baltimore City had the most drug-related deaths with nearly 700. Prince George's came in 4th statewide with 129 fatal overdoses last year. Meantime, Governor Hogan is sending strong signals that Maryland won't join the United States Climate Alliance. The group, made up mostly of Democratic states, formed as a show of commitment to the Paris Climate Accord. Hogan, a Republican, has publicly voiced concern over President Trump's decision to withdraw from the pact, but he told reporters Thursday that he's unsure of the group's intentions. The U.S. is one of 3 nations not party to the global agreement, which sets country-by-country targets to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.